Hey, I'm Krista Liebert, and this is my final project for DigDiv475. Digital diversity is
Follow me down, I'll show you around. There's a place we gotta go. Follow me, la la la.
In this video, I'm going to travel to different countries and continents to explain digital diversity in the context of certain situations and cultures. This is my thesis. Digital diversity is the worldwide differences among societies and cultures that create a multitude of digital cultures and digital practices.
All around the world, do you hear me?
The first country we're going to look at is China. As shown by our in-class discussions and the textbook, Digital Media Ethics, other cultures have vastly different views on privacy and the free flow of information. China is a country that focuses on censorship. Unlike Western ideals, China focuses on censoring materials and not allowing its citizens free reign over information. One prime example of this is Google. Google recently had to pull out of China because they could not show much of the content that they wanted to. In addition to that, a website called YouTube was also banned from the Chinese internet. This just shows the digital culture and norms are so different than that of what we are used to.
All around the world, do you hear me?
The next place we're going to examine is the Middle East. If you follow the news at all, you know that the Middle East has been facing government revolutions based off of social networking sites. Some of these sites include Facebook, YouTube, also blogs, where bloggers share their content with the rest of the world online, and Twitter, where participants tweet about the goings-on in the social revolutions. As shown by this picture, social networking sites such as Twitter are having an enormous impact on today's world and the digital culture that we live in. It's really interesting to see how powerful social media has become. One example of this was a group of Egyptians called for a strike to protest bad working conditions. They created a Facebook group, and within weeks, over 70,000 members joined. It's crazy to see the kind of digital media that's used in the Middle East. They look at technology as a serious tool with power and responsibility, which is vastly different from the Western ideals, which look at it as a tool to keep in touch with friends and stay social.
All around the world, do you hear me?
The next place we're going to focus on is Africa. Africa is a huge continent, and one of their huge issues is the digital have and the digital have-nots. One initiative trying to solve this problem is the One Laptop Per Child, which aims to give every child on the continent a laptop. In addition, cell phones are being used to disseminate information and to help businesses' bottom line. Toxic e-waste being shipped from other countries also poses a huge threat to Africa. Salvaging precious metals from electronic waste is a lucrative business, however, it is extremely harmful to health. Another raging debate is that of access over education. Does access really create education? Or does access simply give people tools?
Love of mine, someday you will die. but I'll be close behind. They'll follow you into the dark, no blinding light or tunnels to gates of white, just our hands close.
Heaven bent, take my hand and lead me through.
One laptop per child is an initiative that's trying to give one laptop to every child in the world. This will both increase their access to computer and digital technologies, as well as their education and familiarity with it. Hopefully with this initiative, we can pull these countries out of being the least developed.
And the cost was so much more than I could bear. Though I've tried.
A huge ethical issue on the topic of digital diversity is electronic waste, or e-waste for short. E-waste is the dumping of old computers or technological things in other countries. First of all, it's dangerous to the environment. And secondly, it's dangerous to the health of those who burn the materials to get certain metals such as copper to sell because they have no other means to make money. This brings up a serious ethical question. Is it ethical to dump these materials wherever a developed country feels necessary? We're putting these less developed countries in a bad situation, and we need to think about the ethics associated with this.
Katie yelling all around the world. Do you hear me?
The next place we'll be visiting is a small town in the middle of Washington called Pullman. You may have heard of it because it is the home to Washington State University.
I had to give it to y'all again. If you in Martin Stadium right now, then go crazy, lean back and listen.
Today's college generation is always on some form of social media or digital technology, whether it's Facebooking or listening to your iPod or just texting friends. It seems like today we're always on.
Boy, I think about it every night and day. I'm addicted, wanna jump inside your love. I wouldn't wanna have it any other way. I'm addicted and I just can't get enough.
I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough.
Boy, I think about it every night and day. I'm addicted, wanna jump inside your love. I wouldn't wanna have it any other way. I'm addicted and I just can't get enough.
I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. Sit tight, I'm gonna need you to keep time. Come on, just snap, snap, snap your fingers for me. Good, good, now we're making some progress. Come on, just tap, tap, tap your toes to the beat. And I believe this may call for a proper introduction. Well, don't you see? I'm the narrator and this is just the prologue.
So, in conclusion, all of this research and all of these examples lead me back to my original thesis. Digital diversity is the worldwide differences among societies and cultures that create a multitude of digital cultures and practices.